going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Rustomod. In this episode, we're going to do another review video, and we're going to show you Lance's F100 that he built on a Crown Vic frame. All right, without further ado, I'll show you guys Lance's truck. All right, guys, so this is Lance. You've seen him on the channel a few times before, and this is his 66 F100.
All right, so this is the 1966 Ford F100. It's on a 2006 Crown Victoria chassis and on air ride. When I first got the truck, I got it out of a tow lot and where it was sitting for about 20 years. And the original idea was to buy it, leave it at the house until I was ready to build it. And then I got it on Google and saw that you could Crown Vic swap these trucks. So originally I was just gonna do a subframe swap. No plans with motor or anything else at that point. And then I saw a couple people did a full chassis swap, and I figured that'd be the easiest route at the time. It's not the easiest route, but so yeah, so now it has the Crown Vic firewall and the floor. So basically it's just a 1966 F100 sitting on a Crown Victoria body.
Cool. So with the Crown Vic swap, how long did it take you to do like the entire firewall and everything, put it together?
I think it took around 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
Some guys can knock these out in 2 weeks now, since so many have been done, and there's different videos and techniques to get them done quickly. It's more common to swap just the Crown Victoria frame instead of the firewall and floor, but then you have to take the motor out, all the wiring. And basically I didn't take any wiring or anything out, just literally just cut it and fit it all in there.
Cool. So whenever you did this swap, was there many other like Crown Vic swaps
at the time? We built this truck in 2018. At the time there wasn't many. There were some couple out there, so there's only a few videos I could watch on YouTube and look at forums. But yeah, so it was a lot of learning. This was like my first major truck build and first build on air ride. So this truck was never supposed to be on air ride as well, but we lowered it as low as we could from on the firewall. So you cut out through the whole firewall and like cow piece out of the F100, and then you just set it on top of the Crown Vic firewall. But I made it so low that you couldn't turn. So the only option was to do air ride. Cool. So I could go a little lower. It's on bump stops. I'd love to lay it, on the rockers, but I think it has a cool looking stance as it aired out right now.
Absolutely, yeah. So when you took the entire firewall and everything in the floor, did you retain all of the air conditioning and heat and everything like that?
So I have heat right now, no air conditioning. So when we were thinning the wiring harness, because there's a lot of wiring in those Crown Vics, especially since an ex-cop car, there's so much extra stuff. So what we were doing is we were cutting wires one at a time with the car running, truck, whatever you want to call it, to see if it would shut off. So we did quite a few, and then my dad got wire cut happy, and he cut all the wiring, so we lost everything. So I had the original dash in there with the Crown Vic retrofitted in there, and that no longer worked. The AC stopped working, and we just never. So yeah, so it has heat. That's important, at least.
Yeah. I mean, it's an old truck anyway. They only
does so much.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
The name of this truck is DARYL. The fella I bought it from, his name was Daryl, and then the truck's dirty. And Daryl had some dirty stories for me when he was telling me about his history. So that's why it's got Dirty Daryl. So this got painted. Probably the second time I actually drove this truck was 300 miles to Good Guys up in York, Pennsylvania, with my buddy Dan, and we got this pinstriped at the show. So that was pretty fun. We had no test drives on it and just got to cruise. So a lot of like air ride systems you can just mix match. They sell kits, but for Crown Vics at the time, the only thing they had was Ride Tech air shocks. Okay. And those aren't the best. Yeah. So right now we're running airlift bags. And then we have airlift controller, and then we have a Slam Specialties control manifold. Just a little basic, simple setup. Yeah. I didn't want to go overboard on it.
Nice.
Yep.
So a lot of guys I see that do like this kind of Crown Vic swap, they'll raise the bed up in the middle. So what's the purpose for that on the swap?
Well, another thing too is this was a long bed truck originally.
Right.
Some people have good eyes and they can tell. So it still has the middle stake pocket and doesn't have this stake pocket. So we didn't cut it like in the middle like a lot of guys do. Right. Because I'm just not a fan of the cut line. Yep. So we took the pop rivets or the spot welds out of the front of the panel and just bent it back to factory after we cut about 13.5 inches, I think.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, so we didn't do a raised bed floor. I kind of wanted to keep the bed a little bit of bed space.
Right.
Probably my next truck I'll do a raised bed floor. Actually, my Stout has a raised bed floor, but this isn't a C-notch. It's actually the stock Crown Vic pump. It's almost like a natural C-notch, but also the fuel tank is here, like stock Crown Vic fuel tank.
Okay.
And then we fill up the gas through this old Invader oil can that I got at an antique shop.
Nice.
And then my battery is inside of my 7-Up cooler.
That's awesome.
So this truck, we're from Maryland. We found this truck in Maryland, but this truck is originally from Indiana. The way I found that out was, well, actually had Indiana plates on it, but so it says Taft's Gas on each door. And the way I found out about this company is I Googled it. There's nothing on this about the internet until I found a newspaper article from like the 50s that had advertising for Taft's Gas. And then I forgot the name of the town it came from, but I called the town and I got to speak with the mayor and asked him about this company. He put me on hold, or put me in touch with the granddaughter of this original owner, and it was a local gas company. And she had sent me a bunch of pictures of this truck back in the day, and the owner of this truck, so it was really cool. Yeah, one of the pictures she sent me was it in a blizzard in like '78, and it had a camper top on it, so that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And now it lives this life.
Yeah, now it's slammed.
Yeah, they did want to buy the truck back from me, you know, like to remember their grandfather. Unfortunately told them no.
Yeah. If I was to build one of these, like, what would you say to look for?
So if you want the cross member that everybody wants to swap into one of these trucks, it's 2003 and up. Everything 2003 up is like basically the same. So cop cars, P71s, they have aluminum lowers where the civilian cars had steel lowers. I think that's really the only difference. They're all, subframes are really about the same.
Is the engine the same and everything?
Engine's the same. P71s, the cop cars, I think had a different intake and maybe a couple of extra things. I think they might have a different transmission and oil cooler than the civilians.
Okay.
Because they sit and idle all day. Like this truck can literally just sit all day idling. Like a taxi car, you know, taxi cop car, I think they're the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 03 up, you can use, so a lot of people do too, if they just do a subframe swap, they won't keep the 03 and up rear because it's wider. So they'll swap in the earlier Crown Vic rear ends.
Oh, so it's a narrower?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know.
Same bolt pattern, I believe, just a little narrower.
Okay.
This is what, 5 and 4.5.
Yeah.
And those are the stock Crown Vic wheels with porta walls. Everyone asks what wheels these are all the time. It's just a simple stock steely from a Crown Vic and some porta walls off Amazon.
Cool. Do they stick on?
They go through the bead.
Oh,
actually took me a really long time to find a tire shop that would even try that.
Really?
I'm like, it's a really old school thing.
Huh.
But yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's cool. And they're 17s?
Yes. Yep. And I think they're like 235, 45s maybe, 235, 35s.
Awesome. All right, cool. Yeah. So 03 and up Crown Vic is really what you want.
Yeah, and it's super common now. The subframe just itself is super common. And there's different companies out there. For example, Outcast Auto Works. Big shout out to Kyle. He's the one that I have his upper control arms, and that helps with camber on these, and then helps with the air ride. But like for example, Outcast, they make all the motor mounts. You can put any motor you want in these things now. But yeah, it's a super simple swap, and it just makes a good cruiser. It rides better than twin I-beam.
Yeah. So and yours is just a stock Crown Vic motor and trans.
Yeah, it's completely stock. When I got it, had 130,000 miles on it.
Nice.
And this truck has never let me down.
Awesome. Cool. So what on the inside, since you took the floor and the firewall to it, did you have to do anything like manning the dash and everything to the firewall?
Yeah, so like it still has the stock F100 dash. A lot of people will swap in the Crown Vic interior and stuff, and I just, my personal opinion, I don't want a 2006 Crown Victoria interior in my truck. I just don't think it looks right. The column, I have plans to switch it out. I've been saying that for 5 years. Same with finishing the interior, hiding all this stuff. But I've been saying that for 5 years. I've been waiting for this truck to break and it won't. So it's just gonna stay like this till it does.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I noticed down here, is this the frame that runs up that high? That is that step? Or is it...
Yeah, that's the frame of the Crown Vic. This is caulking. Those are bad welds. There's probably bad welds underneath of there. But yeah, so that's just the body drop.
Okay.
So that's just a panel that we made and put there.
So you kind of box it up and over to get
yeah,
to be
it goes like here or something like that.
Okay.
So this is just some leftover flooring material from my dad's house.
Nice. Repurposed it. Cool. All right, awesome. All right, well, thanks so much for showing us your truck.
Yep.
And hopefully, if you guys are interested in doing a Crown Vic swap, this help you out.
Yeah, people message me all the time, ask me about it. It is fairly simple. I don't know if I would do another one again, but if you just want a good cruiser, daily driver, these Crown Vic swaps are perfect for it.
Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll put Lance's information down in the description if you guys have any questions, or he has a big knowledge on a lot of different cars and stuff, so I'll put all his stuff down there. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.